you married?
I'm going through a divorce.
What happened with that?
Basically, my husband stopped meeting my expectations.
What you mean?
So when I met him, when I met my husband, I told him what I expect from a man. The number one rule with being with me is you have to provide. I won't settle for anything less. So my husband ended up losing his job.
What's good, YouTube? This is KB LaFleur. You can call me KB. Welcome back to another video, man. We got something pretty good today, man. We got a sister who is pretty much trying to explain why she gave up or why she's divorcing her man. Right now, of course, man, this is something that we see, right? And of course, this doesn't make up most of your sisters, right? Who are going to just leave their man because, hey, guess what? He can't provide the way she wants him to provide at that moment, right? Who doesn't want to stick around when the going gets going, right? Now, of course, at the end of the day, it does all lead down the same path, right? Now, where if a man is struggling or whatever, you know, a woman has a time limit, and hey, you know, some women time limits are way faster than others. Some other women are going to stick it through it until it's that time where they like, okay, hold on, time out, man. If you can't provide for us, then there's no way we can continue to be together. It's been a couple of years, man, and I didn't stay down with the dog. Right? Well, you've seen plenty of times where, you know, women think they done went through the most with a man or whatever, or they have went through the most, and it gets to that point where they just can't take it anymore. And they say, well, you know what, man, listen, you know, I've been through you through thick and thin. You know, I've been through this. I had to do this for you. I had to do that. This stuff is just not normal. So, of course, I cheated. Or, of course, I had to leave the relationship. When it's like, damn, babe, like, I mean, all you had to do was just give me some time, man. Of course, it didn't, you know, of course, you know, I didn't get it, you know, I didn't get the job, or I didn't get the exact job that you wanted, or I'm not making the amount of money that you need me to make, but dang, bro, you got to give me some time. And with some women, once again, they don't give you enough time. They just sit here and say, hey, I'm out of there. And those tend to be your gold diggers. Those tend to be your women, man, who are dealing with you for the wrong reasons, right? And like I said, it's sad because you still have women who still feel that, hey, guess what? If this man cannot provide everything that I want him to provide, you got to get up out of here, right? So let's just go ahead and let's see what this sister has to say, man. Let's just see what this sister has to say.
Are you married?
I'm going through a divorce.
What happened with that?
Basically, my husband stopped meeting my expectations.
What you mean?
So when I met him, when I met my husband, I told him what I expect from a man. The number one rule with being with me is you have to provide. I won't settle for anything less. So my husband ended up losing his job.
He had a job?
Yeah,
where he worked
he
at?
had a job. He was a manager at a
Pull
warehouse.
the mic in so these people can hear you. He was a manager at the warehouse?
He was a manager at a warehouse.
Okay.
So he ended up losing his job. He came home and he told me. I'm like, okay, cool. All right. So a month went by, and he looked for me to pay the bills. Who paying what bills? So I was going to consider it if he gave me the money back for paying the bills. And he told me no. He felt like he shouldn't have to do that. What do you mean? When I told you, as a man, I expect you to provide. Under no circumstances will I ever touch bills as long as I got a husband. None. If you can, you can hear.
He probably happy you gone, though.
I'm sure he missed me.
I mean, got fired, right? Got fired, and then she said a month went by, right? And he's saying, hey, well, you know what? I'm gonna need you to help me out with some of these bills now. And she's saying no. She's saying, hey, well, I will consider it only if you give me my money back. And the guy's like, man, hold on, time out, man. If we are together, right? Because you will have women who are like this, who will sit over here and say, well, me and my man work as a team, this, that, and the third. If we work as a team, why do I have to pay you back money when we're both living in the household, when you're both eating up my gas and my bills? And she's saying, I set a standard that, hey, well, you guess what? You know, men are going to have to take care of me, right? Whatever relationship I'm in, they're going to have to be the ones to provide most of the work. And that's fine, right? That's fine. But where it comes, where the woman's job comes into play is, okay, yeah, he needs to making some money, but here's adversity. We all have to face adversity at some point in time in our life. It has to happen, right? It has to happen. We have to go through adversity. why can't you just stay in that? Why can't you work that out? And the fact that the fact that you're telling him that he has to pay you back, like, come on, man. Like, come on. What are we doing? What are we doing, man? And once again, this is where we are at today, man, where a lot of you women want the men to foot the bill, want the men to foot everything. And it's like, once again, we understand that most of the burden is going to fall on the man. But once again, as a woman, you have to show that, hey, guess what? This is the reason why I'm wife material. Because, hey, guess what? I understand that you're going through it, but we're going to be through it. We're going to go through it together. But also for the man, I'm pretty sure he might be a little imp. I mean, why are you dealing with a woman like that? And the fact that she's even on this podcast should tell you something. And then just by looking at it should tell you even more. It should tell you even more that this is not somebody that you want to lay down with. This is not somebody, man, that you want to have kids with. This is not somebody that you want to make your wife. But then again, he didn't turn around and wife her up. And look at what he's going through. Once again, this is all your fault, brother. This is all of your fault. But hey, once again, when guys glorify cheats and looks just so you can walk around and say, yeah, man, I got a bad chick. Once again, there are so many guys, man, who glorify that they end up in situations like this. Man, dang, bro, she left me, man. She really ain't love me. Well, duh, fool. Duh, we all could have told you that. She is all about materialistic things. She has that independent boss babe mindset. When you have women who have an independent boss babe mindset, they tend to walk around and feel like this. That's just a fact. So, of course, we got to read the comments. Someone says, him being fired was a blessing to set him free. Somebody else says, and now she has all of the bills, which is so funny. I'm not going, man, as long as I'm with a man, I ain't never going to pay bills. That's going to be her excuse when you sit up here and bring that up. And she's going to be like, well, hey, of course. But as I told you, as long as I'm with a man, I'm not ever going to pay bills. Well, now look at you. You're going to have to pay all the bills by yourself. It just doesn't make any sense when women sit up here and say stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense when you sit over here and leave a man. Yeah, you might be struggling a little bit, but as long as y'all have each other, man, once again, there's going to be times where you're going to have to rely on him, which most of the time, that's all women do is rely on men. But they claim that they don't need them. But once again, life always shows different. But you're going to need to rely on them. Now, all of a sudden, hey, well, you know what? I don't want to have to give up money. I don't want to have to spend anything. Now you're going to have to spend a bunch. Then someone else says she's not fine enough to provide for. Then somebody else says she obviously been in a relationship where she was the main provider. So there is some damage that has been done there. Once again, these are just excuses. You got grown women excusing other grown women bad behavior, but this is why the red pill and manosphere exists in the first place. There's nothing wrong with wanting husband to provide everything. Nobody ever said there was anything wrong with that. Right now, I'm gonna let her finish, but once again, this is where women try to pull the, well, there's nothing wrong with this. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Almost try to state the obvious as if somebody is arguing that, right? As if somebody's arguing against the obvious. Nobody's arguing against that. Hey, men should be taking care of everything. We're just saying when it's time that, hey, a man has to rely on a woman, where is she going to be at? But I mean, once again, this is where your women tend to be very disingenuous. So she goes on to say, especially if you are providing everything at home, but to actually get married, in the vows, it says for better or worse, for rich or for poor. It does not say for what's convenient for me. Your job as a wife is to step up and step in. Give him an opportunity to rebound and allow him to step back into his position. What you don't do is kick a man when he is down. And now the man you married will never see you or value you the same way again. Sad. And once again, man, like I said, I just can't stand when women want to bring up the obvious, right? Once again, you like, stop it, right? Just stop it. You're trying to excuse a lot of these women's behavior. That's all that is. And if somebody gonna say, hey, well, she's not excusing it. Well, you sitting over here saying that, hey, well, you know what? Hey, there's nothing wrong with wanting your husband to provide everything. Nobody has an issue with that. Nobody was contesting that. So there's no reason to bring it up. So somebody else says, I'm sure he's happy you are gone, though. That's just a fact, right? That's just a fact. Somebody else says, what happened to our women? Somebody else says, him being fired is a blessing. Somebody else says, she's slow as hell. Embarrassing. This got to be scripted. Somebody else says, well, this is what he chose to marry. So do I sympathize? Nope. Men keep choosing women that treat them like crap, then get upset when the beauty fades and the same crap treatment continues. Now, once again, man, to some degree, yeah, that's a fact. You're gonna have some men who sit over here and glorify the wrong woman. That's just a fact, right? But when you have women who, once again, who sit up here and say, well, this is what he chooses to marry, so do I sympathize? No, men keep choosing women that treat them like crap. When most of your women who are like this, she don't even sympathize with the men. So I can tell you right now, most women who are like this, they will never sympathize with men, right? They're going to be your feminists, hardcore feminists. So they know this woman is wrong, but hey, guess what? I'm not going to throw myself out there and defend her, but I will say that the man is wrong. This, that, and the third, passive aggressive, just once again, kind of just, you're still showing that, hey, you have a distaste for men. But I mean, once again, she's not lying where she's saying that, hey, he chose a woman, man, who's going to treat him bad. And that's just a fact. He did choose a woman that was going to do him dirty anyway. So then someone else says, someone says, ain't this the same woman that says she had several kids before she met him? Then someone else says he's going to bounce back crazy and she will be a side piece forever, paying her own bills. And that's just a fact. But once again, man, guys, you just got to pick better. All right, guys, you got to pick better, man, because you can't always just walk around, man, with women, man, who always have the looks, because it's not just about looks. Do me a huge favor, leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel.